Good morning and welcome to day 3 of the 60-day series for MindStudio. And today I'm going to share something that I've found to be really impactful and unique and a way to stand out and certainly leverage AI in a really time-efficient, creative way. We will be exploring an AI agent that is ready for you to use that will allow you to turn any content into a shareable podcast. And the point of the series is to really allow you to see AI agents in action, to spark curiosity and, you know, open your mind to ways to use it and ways to lead your teams and your business to move towards becoming more AI first focused and building your confidence. So I hope that you enjoy. And what I'm going to do is I will turn on a QR code here up in the corner, and that will actually allow you now or later to be able to link over to MindStudio so that you can take advantage of using these agents. And if you are on a mobile device, it's mindstudioagents.com. So first, I'm going to share with you an idea that many of you can relate to, where we have, let's say a rollout. This time of year, there's so many rollouts of products and moving into fourth quarter. So you can take any information, you can take blog posts, you can take marketing information, white papers, really convert the things that you're using. But I'm going to share with you, I am a fan of Dan Go and the information that he shares. He has a great program for entrepreneurials around health and fitness. And he just released a blog post today. So I'm going to use this as an example of how to convert these types of things into a podcast. So you can see that he just launched today his 4-Minute Fridays, 2 cheat codes to living to 100 years old. And it's supplements that he uses and the type of creatine that he uses. So he has a great blog. I really encourage you to sign up for it if you haven't already. But let me show you how this works. So he has here really in-depth, blog article here, lots of good points. And you can use MindStudio and many of the agents that are just ready to go just as an extension. So I'm going to showcase for you what that looks like. You can also go in and adapt it to be, custom to you. But for many of us that are taking, one step at a time, using something that's ready-made allows you to take action instead of continuing to intend to do it, but not really being able to create the time. So I'm going to go ahead and move over to what the agent looks like. And in this case, it is generating a podcast. So the first step that the agent takes you through is it has reviewed that blog article from today and wants to know what I would like the podcast to be about. And it gives you ideas based on information in whatever reference. So it gives you ideas, or it can be something else and you can create anything. But in this case, I'm going to hone in on creatine and performance. So this is something, I don't know about you, but that's really captured my attention, the studies that have been done around creatine. So I think this is an interesting idea. Now, these podcasts can be sent to prospects. It could be sent to clients. It can be used internally. It could follow up, be a really unique way to follow up with somebody that you've had a conversation with. Or if you find a really interesting article and somebody may struggle to carve out the time to actually read it, you can just convert it into a podcast for them. It's a really great way to stand out. For those of you who are in sales and business development, this is something that most people aren't seeing yet. So I'm going to go ahead and select creatine and performance. And it's going to just start creating the podcast. And it's as easy as that. It's really quite stunning what is capable. So in this case, it is an AI agent that's already ready to go. So it's been defined with the podcasters. It's going to be creating music. It's going to follow a really approved format that's proven to be effective. But again, when you're ready, you can actually copy this AI agent and customize it to fit, closer into a brand or a style that you perhaps might like to do. So it's done its background research and it's going to ask me, what type of tone are you aiming for in this episode? And the audience here is for higher performing entrepreneurs and professional. So it could be educational, conversational, entertaining, all of the above. In this case, I want to have a conversational tone. And then it's going to dive deeper and ask about how much scientific detail would you like to include in the podcast. So it could be that I have a really highly technical audience and they want, studies cited. So for those of you that have a little more, detailed product or, conversation that you have, that's something. It could be that I want a really accessible overview with minimal technical details. So in this case, I'm going to choose something in the middle. So for my audience, they're going to be interested in, they want the details and the science, but they want it to be also just like a little more layman's. What's your target audience familiarity? So this is really important depending on who you're creating this for. And you can create this podcast because now we're talking, so it's going to take a few more minutes, but 5 minutes, you could create this very customized to one individual, or you could create this podcast to share with your whole community or your list. You could add it to a landing page. You could put it on your website. So it really depends. But in this case, you want to have the podcast reflect the audience familiarity. So I would say in this case, people have some knowledge, but not extensive. So those that are in Dan's community have been following often for a while and have a good base of knowledge. And then it's going to dive deeper. It's going to ask, what aspects would you like to focus on? And if it isn't one of these, it's other. But because it comes up with information and gives you ideas, you can just crank through this really quickly. So in this case, I want to look more at the kind of dosage and timing recommendations. So I've read a lot of the details around the benefits of it, but perhaps I want to focus in on that timing and how to go ahead and do it. So what are the key takeaways or actionable insights? So this is where you can really get creative in terms of what would you like people to do after listening to this. So often if you're somebody that is doing, sales or business development, you might be trying to, recruit somebody to your team. What is the important actionable insights? So this would be, proper dose, practical tips for incorporating creatine into the daily routine or other. So again, if you're trying to get to a specific outcome, then you can get as detailed as you like and make it really customized. Otherwise, you could actually send this podcast along with, maybe an announcement about a new product or something that's rolling out for the fall. I work with a lot of people that are in the insurance industry for insurance companies and insurance brokers, and they have the majority of their business renews in January. So this is a time where there's a lot of emails and presentations and meetings. And this is a way to really stand out or to, move people in a particular direction. It's also something that can be done in a more, personal or fun. I'm finding that many clients and their teams, this AI can feel really overwhelming and a little threatening at times. And honing in and just focusing in on work sometimes takes away the creativity or the wow factor, I guess. But when you leverage some of these AI tools and resources to do something that's in your personal sphere, if it's a creative interest. So with Dan Go's program, so to tie back to his expertise, he has a very specific program of the details of what you're supposed to be eating, the amounts, the supplementation, and it's all on a guide. That's but sometimes challenging, right? When you're busy, and he focuses in on busy entrepreneurs. AI was a tool that was able to take those, the printouts, the guidelines, all of the information, and then put that into Claude in the case. And that was a great way to be able to say, I'm a busy entrepreneur. I have two teenagers. We have a nut allergy in our home. Put the parameters. We have 4 nights a week. We have cheer and sports practices. So we need things that can be meal prepped in advance or put in a crock pot or an oven. And I was able to create just a weekly set meal plan, the shopping list, and everything just happened in minutes, where in the past it may have taken me hours. And the reality is, often I wouldn't have actually followed through with getting the specific meal plan done. And then somewhere along the week, it would be, we're going to run to Chipotle instead. So this is it's a great way sometimes for you or your team to just move it into something creative or interesting. One of the projects that I'm doing with a group of clients, and I'm just sharing some ideas while the podcast is generating here, is some of the AI twins and the marketing and images that can be created. So that's been a lot of fun to show people how they can take images that they've already created and are using, and now leverage AI to create really fun, creative, interesting, colorful images that they can use in their social media or marketing. Ways to take past images that they have and they really like, but they may be running a campaign. One of them has a new course that they've launched, and they're using lime green in all of their marketing materials, but their photos were in a palette that just didn't work. And we were able to take AI and just transform what they were wearing into the new color palette, which they just weren't going to spend the time or money for this particular project. And it allowed them to now have these really cool, perfectly branded images that they can use. So this is behind the scenes, is just going through all of the steps for generating the podcast. So it's creating the dialogue, it's checking, it's writing the script, it's creating cover art. So it is almost done with all of those elements. And then I'll play part of it for you so you can see what gets created. And again, you can go ahead and edit the agent, customize the agent for yourself to have a different, look and feel. It could have different voices. It could have different podcast hosts. But again, this is a step forward where you can just jump in, use the agents. Because you can use it as an extension, it's just almost instant when you are using things. And, you just think about the impact that people are having leveraging things like short videos or voice notes, or doing something that is standing out and is different. You can text the link to the podcast to somebody so that they can just listen, and you can get around some of the normal ways. So while this is finishing up, I'm going to go ahead and go over to MindStudio and show you how you actually can find let me change the tab here. Okay, so at MindStudio, so again, you can use the QR code in the corner or go to mindstudioagents.com. And there's various levels, but there are a lot of agents that are free. And they have this whole section of agents here. So there's research type agents, there's content agents, there's a lot that are around creators, which is where this Generate podcast is just, again, right in their agents that are ready to go for you. There's the marketing, business development, and partnerships. There's students and studying. So several of my clients are in the Salesforce space, and there's a lot of certifications and studying that happens. And there's some incredible agents here to help with that. There's YouTube, how to leverage YouTube for venture capitalists, image, video, developers. There's just so many agents that are ready to go. But to show you how you can actually take one that you have copied and is ready to go, you can edit things just right in. You can make changes right in the, here we go, make a copy. So you can duplicate this and then just change it. So you can see this is the agent, and there's the components of it. It's creating a case study, generating an asset, displaying content. There is the system prompt. So you can just come in here, and it's the assistant, the task, the analysis, the output structure, the tone, how to handle ambiguity, quality checks, executive summary. So if you want to go ahead and customize this, you can just pop right in here, make any changes, test it out, and you'll be able to really take these steps, these first, experiment, try things out. And when something lands and you really like it, you can perfect it. You can work with your team and really create something that you are proud of. And you can go through, all of the elements of the system of what you're going to be able to, transcript text. You can paste, Zoom or Firefly calls. You can create images. You can put in examples, things that you want to create. So there's just, many things that you can change, including models. So one of the things that people really struggle with is deciding which model to use. And there's more and more coming. So one thing I really appreciate is MindStudio is selecting the models for their agents that are ready to go, that are often the right pick. They're the right intensity. They're meeting the timelines. The cost is taken into consideration. But as you learn more, or if you want to use other things, it'll pull up they have so many models that you can take advantage of, and it shares the pricing, and you can just switch out the models. So you can try different things, which is a great way as something new comes out and MindStudio announces that it's ready to go. You can just, pop in and use it and see the difference of what's created. You can change the temperature. So for a lower temperature is going to make something more exact, and something that's a higher temperature is going to be, more creative, and it may be more, wild or flexible in what the outcomes are. You can have a maximum response side. So it's just very interesting in terms of, okay, well, goodness, we love being live until it doesn't quite work the way that we expected. So it has, I am going to pull up another one that I created this morning so that you can see the outcome. I'm not quite sure what happened, but it is live. So let me see if there's one here here we go. Here's one that was created earlier. So this is the outcome of the podcast. And let me pull this over here. I'm opening up the podcast. So this is one that was created. It creates the art you can see here, and it tells you a summary of what it's about the show, meet your hosts, and then you just push play.
Welcome to the Metabolic Matrix, where we break down complex nutritional science into actionable insights. I'm Dr. Layla Patel.
And I'm Dr. Marcus Chen. Before we dive in, We should mention that while we're both doctors with real credentials, our podcast personas are slightly fictionalized for your entertainment. The science, however, is 100% real.
Today, we're tackling a topic that's been making waves in metabolic health research: visceral fat and the emerging evidence on how to effectively eliminate it.
So I hope you can see there, it's just a really fun, creative way to take any, again, blog, white paper, promotional element and convert it into a podcast that can be shared. It can be, again, customized. And it typically takes, between maybe 5 and 15 minutes max behind the scenes, and you just answer some questions so that it gets customized, and it's a great opportunity. So if you are interested in seeing a demo or learning more, please feel free to send me a DM. I would be pleased to follow up with you, and I thank you so much. And I will be back tomorrow for day 4 of the 60-day series on MindStudio. Thank you so much, and have a